You're over 60, and you picture a fatty liver as something that happens to people who drink too much. But for most adults past 60, it's not the liquor cabinet doing the damage. It's dinner. This isn't rare. 1 in 4 adults is now walking around with fat quietly building up inside their liver. Most without a single symptom, because your liver has no pain receptors. It doesn't complain until routine blood work already shows the strain. And by the time most people catch it, the buildup has often been happening for a decade. Today, I'm going to show you exactly which 5 foods the research says may support your liver while you sleep, and the 2 habits that quietly cancel them out. My name is Dr. Liam Green. This channel does one thing. It helps adults over 60 understand what the research really says about their bodies, in plain language. Today I'm walking you through 5 foods that may support your liver's overnight repair window. Stay through all 5. Number 3 surprises almost every patient I've worked with. And number 1 is a drink most people over 60 already have every morning, but almost always at the wrong time of day. Before we get into the 5, I need to give you one concept, because without it, none of this will fully make sense. I call it the overnight clearance window. Your liver doesn't run at the same pace all day. Its cleanup systems, the ones that clear fat and process what you've eaten, follow a roughly 24-hour rhythm, and they shift into higher gear during the hours you're fasting overnight. Under 60, that rhythm runs smoothly. After 60, it slows down and becomes far more sensitive to what's still on board when that overnight shift begins. That's the overnight clearance window. And it's why what you eat in the evening matters more than what you eat at lunch. Keep that in mind as we go through each one. Food number 5, walnuts. Teresa, 63, a retired librarian in Sacramento, ate what she considered a clean diet. Then a routine scan flagged fat buildup in her liver anyway. She'd spent years avoiding fat altogether, convinced any fat was the enemy of a fatty liver. That's backwards. Walnuts are rich in a plant-based omega-3 called ALA. It calms inflammation, and the liver responds to it well. A 2023 review in the journal Nutrients found a meaningful link between regular nut intake and lower rates of fatty liver disease. What to do? A small handful, about a golf ball's worth, in the evening. Plain, not fried, not candied. Food number 4, green tea. Howard, 67, a retired postal worker in Manchester, had elevated liver enzymes on a routine test. No pain, no symptoms. He figured enzymes only climbed from alcohol. Research on green tea's catechins shows almost no effect in healthy livers, but a real one once enzymes are already elevated. A 2020 meta-analysis of randomized trials found green tea catechins measurably lowered liver enzyme levels specifically in people with fatty liver disease. What to do? 1 to 2 cups of brewed tea in the early afternoon. Concentrated extract supplements are different. A few case reports have linked those, not brewed tea, to liver injury. Food number 3, and this is the one that surprises almost everyone. Garlic. Nadia, 61, a restaurant hostess in Miami, had cooked with garlic her whole life and believed she was already getting the benefit. Turns out, the active compound, allicin, only forms after garlic is crushed or chopped, and it breaks down fast under high heat. Toss whole cloves straight into a hot pan and you lose most of it before it does anything. A randomized placebo-controlled trial published in Diabetes, Metabolic Syndrome and Obesity found that adults with fatty liver disease who took 400 milligrams of garlic powder twice a day for 15 weeks were more than 5 times as likely to see their liver fat improve on ultrasound, with added drops in weight and liver enzymes, compared to placebo. What to do? Crush or chop your garlic and let it sit for 10 minutes before it hits the heat. Quick question before we move on. If you already cook with garlic, tell me in the comments how you usually prepare it. You might find out you've been losing the good part without ever knowing it. Food number 2, beetroot juice. Bruce, 70, a retired mechanic in Tulsa, had his blood pressure well managed. But a liver ultrasound at his annual physical showed steatosis anyway. Beets are packed with dietary nitrate. Your body turns that into nitric oxide, which boosts blood flow to the liver. Beets also have betaine, a compound that helps the liver break down fat. A 2023 randomized controlled trial with 180 participants found that 250 milliliters of beetroot juice daily for 12 weeks significantly reduced liver fat on ultrasound, with the best results in the group that combined it with a Mediterranean-style diet. What to do? 1 small glass with dinner, most days of the week. And food number 1, the one most people over 60 already drink, and often cut back on for the wrong reason. Coffee. Sylvia, 65, a retired accountant in Denver, had scaled back her coffee for years, certain it was hard on her liver. It's closer to the opposite. A meta-analysis pooling multiple studies found that higher coffee intake was linked to a meaningfully lower risk of liver fibrosis and cirrhosis. And a 2024 analysis of over 450,000 people in the UK Biobank found that, after adjusting for other health factors, moderate coffee drinkers with fatty liver disease had a lower overall death rate than non-drinkers. What tends to cancel this out? Loading it with sugar and cream or drinking it right before bed, which disrupts the very sleep your overnight clearance window depends on. What to do? 2 to 3 cups, mostly black, finished at least 6 hours before you sleep. I promised you something you can use, so here it is. 5 steps, 1 for each food we covered. Step 1. Shift your heaviest meal earlier in the day, so dinner is lighter and your overnight clearance window has less to process. Step 2. Pick just one of today's 5 foods and add it this week. Don't try all 5 at once. Step 3. Stop caffeine at least 6 hours before bed, so it doesn't quietly undercut your sleep. Step 4. Ask your doctor for a simple ALT and AST blood test at your next physical. Most adults over 60 haven't had one in years, and it's the earliest real signal you'll get. Step 5. Keep a few alcohol-free evenings each week. Even moderate alcohol works against everything we just covered. Sylvia came back for her follow-up appointment 8 months later. Her liver enzymes were back in normal range, and for the first time in years, she wasn't worried every time her doctor mentioned a blood test. Your liver doesn't ask for attention, it just quietly keeps working, until it can't. What you eat and when you eat it has a direct effect on how well it holds up. That's worth 30 seconds of thought each evening.